Right, as you can see, they have finally arrived. But what am I talking about? Well, if you're new here to Sailing Madness in this episode, you'll have no idea. If you've been here a while, you'll know the saga surrounding these. If you're new here, let me explain. Now, going back to episode, can't remember which one it was now, 3 or 4, a long time ago, I ordered some brand new cockpit cushions for my boat. Now, I waited about 3.5 to 4 months for the cockpit cushions to be made, and when they were delivered, with lots of excitement, just like now, I brought them to the boat only to discover they didn't fit. And it transpires what had happened was I'd ordered cockpit cushions for a Bavaria 36, which is what I thought this boat was. However, this is not a Bavaria 36. My boat is a Bavaria 36 cruiser, and the cockpit layout on a cruiser is different to the standard Bavaria 36. Anyway, the old cushions didn't fit, so they went back, and now here we are a long time later, and I've finally got some cushions for a Bavaria 36 cruiser. Now, I don't know if these fit, but we're about to find out. This might take a while because the last thing you want to do is open it with a knife and cut your cushions. I think they are a lovely fit. It's only taken 6 months. Oh, and it's quite comfy as well. Now all I've got to do is start drilling holes and put the poppers in. That'll take a couple of hours, but I'm pleased with that. I think that's going to be just fine. Right, the cockpit cushions are fitted. It's a couple of days later and I'm back on the boat first thing on a Saturday morning, and today is going to be another one of those milestones achieved since I bought this boat. And the learning curve well and truly continues today, because I'm joining a flotilla this morning. We're going to be leaving here in about an hour from now, and we're going to be heading to Malta, where we're going to anchor overnight. And I think the plan is to have a beach barbecue while we're there, and then we're going to be sailing back tomorrow morning. Now, really looking forward to this. This is going to be my first ever overnight anchoring on this boat. I'm a little bit nervous, but if you watched previous episodes, you'd have seen that I bought one of those very expensive ultra anchors, and it's been on the bow of the boat since the day I bought it, and it's never been used. And I just think doing this for the first time in and amongst other boats, if I do get into any trouble, then there's going to be lots of people around that can give me a helping hand if I need it. So looking forward to that. Got a few jobs to do before we cast the lines. Got to wait for the gate to open, of course, but as soon as we do, we'll be on our way. Just going to have some breakfast now, and then looking forward to the next 24 hours. And let's just see how that brand new ultra anchor sets, and let's see how I get on setting it. Right, so let's show you on the chart where we're going. Here we are. This is the UK. If I just zoom in, we've got Liverpool here, Manchester. Just zoom in a little bit more. This is the North Wales coast, and here we are, Conway Marina. This is where we are right now. Going to be heading out of this channel in just a little while, and if you've watched previous episodes, then you'd have seen us do this quite a few times. So once we get out to here, I don't think there's going to be much wind, so I think it's going to be at best a motor sail. So we're going to head across the bay, round Puffin Island like we did in the previous episode. This is Anglesey now, and we're going to head up here, and then see these 3 anchorages. We're going to be heading for the middle one, this one here. And quite conveniently, there is a rescue RNLI station right by where we're going to be dropping the anchor. So if we do get into any problems, rescue won't be that far away. Hopefully it won't come to that. There should be some other boats there. There's a nice pub and a restaurant just off the beach here. So hopefully it's going to be a nice 24 hours. I don't know how long it's going to take us to get there, but I'm in no rush. Going to drop anchor, stop there the night, and then we're going to be coming back to Conway Marina tomorrow morning. And hopefully there's going to be quite a few other yachts there, and the plan is, I think, what I've read on one of the Facebook groups is that they're organising a beach barbecue tonight. So looking forward to that. Right, okay, that's the engine checks done. Now, if you watched the end of the last episode, you'll know I always do an after-use engine check. They don't teach you to do that at sailing school, But I think it's vitally important, because if anything is going to go wrong with an engine, it's going to go wrong when the engine is running, not when it's sat in a marina. And because I checked this engine the last time I used it, which was when I took my daughter sailing in the last episode, I know when we got back to the marina, that engine, or this engine, was absolutely fine. So I have no reason to believe that it's not fine now, because it hasn't been used since then. But I've just checked the oil, I've checked the strainer box, I've just gone round just checking bits and pieces that you're supposed to do before you start an engine up for the first time, and everything is spotless, everything is spot on. But I was 99% sure it's going to be like that, as I said, because I know I checked this engine after I finished using it in the last episode. So good. Right, we're nearly ready to cast off. Well, we got out the marina. Didn't get a chance to film very much because obviously I was on my own, but Kevin, my neighbour in the powerboat next to me, helped me off, so I managed to get off without hitting anything, which was good, even though the current was very strong. As soon as those lines went slack, the bow of the boat was heading very close to the powerboat on my starboard side, but managed to get out without hitting anybody or anything. This is going to be my first time sailing without the spray hood up, and it makes all the difference. You can see so much more. But of course I've kept it up in the past because it shelters us from the wind, but the wind is lovely today. The only thing I haven't done, which is a bit of a schoolboy error, is put my life jacket on. Very, very silly mistake to make. It's down below, I can go and get it very easily, but I just get out of this channel, just get round the corner, and I'll go and put it on. So lesson learned. Put your life jacket on before you leave the dock, not after. And if you look at those other boats ahead, you'll see they've all started sailing, which is good. Now, of course, I can't do that because I'm on my own, so I'm going to have to wait before I put my sails up. But it'd be nice to sail out the channel, but unfortunately I'm not going to do that today. Okay, so got the life jacket on. I've also got the sails up. So, well, just got one sail up for now. Still not out the channel, and we've got 8.5 knots of breeze, and we're doing 2.5 knots. So we've got the tide coming against us as well still, so we're not doing too bad. Okay, so all the sails are up now. We are in 7.9 knots of breeze, and we're doing 2.7 knots. Still got the tide against us. So a nice big old motorboat coming up behind us here. Those boats that we overtook when we were motoring are coming up behind us and overtaking us. I think they found a little bit more breeze over there. Jess is down here, enjoying the sunshine. You having a good time, eh? Looking nice and chilled. And I've got the coffee in my hand that I made about 3 hours ago, still nice and warm in my Yeti mug. I recommend everybody that has a boat should have a Yeti mug, because it keeps your drink nice and warm for a long time. Certainly a lot of boats out here today. These guys are doing a race. There's the it's a race weekend, so I don't know where they're racing to, how far they're going, but they're racing each other, so I'm glad we're not involved in that. A bit beyond me yet, that. I'd much rather take the easy approach and do a bit of cruising. Right, so we're going to go round the wrong side of this green buoy, but everyone else is doing the same, so sod it, I will as well. We're in 7.6 metres of water, I think we're okay. And we're cruising along now at 3.5 knots. Got up to just over 4 a couple of minutes ago, but the wind's died down a little bit now. Well, just found a nice comfy spot using the fenders as a pillow. Got my feet up, or one of them at least. Autopilot is on. We're chugging along at 4 knots, just about 10 knots of breeze. I probably could trim the sails to make us go a little bit faster, but I'm in no rush. I'm happy to just put along at this speed. No strain on the boat, no stress on me. Just cruising along without a care in the world. This is what sailing's all about. Just look at the sunshine and them views. I know I keep saying this, but it is an absolutely beautiful day to be out in the sea. Even Jess is having a good time, aren't you? Enjoying the sunshine. You got to keep a sharp lookout for crab pots around here. I already saw one back there. We were heading straight towards it. But lucky enough it had a big fluorescent buoy floating on the surface, so I was able to see it in plenty of time. But they're not always that obvious. Right, now I don't think you can see it or not, but the Genoa, which is the sail at the front, is flapping around a little bit. And the reason why that is happening is because the mainsail is shielding that sail from some of the wind. The wind is coming from this sort of direction, so it's hitting that sail, and therefore it's not getting to the sail at the front. Now I could rectify that by doing a thing called wing on wing, which is where I bring one of the sails onto the other tack and bring it round. So if I was in a hurry to get somewhere, or if I was racing, then that is what I would do. But as I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere, I'm just going to leave it as it is. I'm just being a lazy sailor today. Right, well, we've been going now for about 2.5 hours, and according to the chart we've got about half an hour to go. Been on the same tack all the way over, doing a steady sort of 5.5 knots, doing 5.6 at the moment. I have been listening to quite a few radio messages. There's 1 or 2 vessels that have been calling the Coast Guard because one powerboat couldn't get their engine started. Another boat around Prestatyn somewhere, I didn't hear their side of the transmission. I only heard the Coast Guard side, but it seemed that they were drifting without any means of sailing or motoring. So from what I gather, the lifeboat has been launched. So it's been interesting listening to that. Holyhead Coast Guard has certainly been very busy over the last hour or so. But you're not going to see this on the camera, but we're basically heading straight now towards our anchorage for the night. Got about half an hour to go. Well, you know, I was starting to get a little bit worried. I thought for a minute I was going to be the only boat here, even though quite a few people said they were going. I think a lot of people may have changed their minds because the winds are kind of northeasterly coming in here, so apparently this can be quite rolly when the winds are in that direction. But the winds are very light, so I think I can see one boat, possibly 2. So it looks like at least 2 people have decided to chance it. But I think it's going to be a bit of a rolly night tonight. I know we can move a little bit further around and find some more shelter a little bit further around the island, but we'll wait and see. I'll see what the others want to do. But I've got probably, well, according to the charts, I've got about 20 minutes before I'm there. So I'm going to start thinking about turning into the wind, bringing the sails in, turning the engine on. Not in that order, engine on first, then the sails in, and then finding somewhere to anchor. And this is the bit that I've been kind of not dreading, but this is going to be my first attempt at anchoring on this boat. Did it before when I did my day skippers, but this is the first time on this boat, so let's see how it goes. Okay, we have arrived. I didn't film any of putting the anchor down because it's a hard job to do when you're controlling the boat, dropping the anchor, making sure you're not running aground or running the rocks or hitting the boat over there, and it just got a little bit too much, so I couldn't film it. But the anchor is set. I'm in 8.6 meters of water. I've put 40 meters of chain out. The snubber is on, and I've been just looking where we are in position to getting bearings on the land, and we're not moving. So let me just spin you around, show you where we are. There's the lifeboat station. The lifeboat came back when I was doing the anchor. There's the beach. be heading over there later, find the pub, and there's the boat over there, but wanted to make sure I wasn't going to hit. But it is a bit rocky, but that is because the wind's coming from over there, see? So it's forecast to die down tonight, so let's hope that this rocking and rolling stops and I'm able to get some sleep, because I think down below it's going to be quite choppy if it stays like this. But we're here now, so let's just see what happens. Let's just enjoy it. That noise you can hear in the background, I'm not sure you can hear it, is the VHF. I'm going to turn that off in a minute. A toasted cheese and ham toasty and a cup of tea. And this is the view I've got to enjoy my lunch. Okay, so there was 3 boats. Looks like there's now 4. Another one's just arriving. That's good news, isn't it? More the merrier, because you see the problem I've got is I bought food for the barbecue, but I didn't bring a barbecue. So hopefully someone on one of those other 3 boats over there has actually got a barbecue. Otherwise I'm going to be cooking on the boat. Well, we've been here for a couple of hours now. It is exactly 4 o'clock. The tide is slipping out. I'm a little concerned I'm a little too close in. When I dropped anchor before, we had about 8.9 meters under the keel. We're now down to 5.5, and low water isn't for another 3 hours. I think we should be okay, but I'm just getting a little bit twitchy. So as you can see, there's a few other boats arrived now, and I think we're all on for a barbecue on the beach in a little while. I think Jess is enjoying herself, sunbathing and chilling out. But that's what Jess does best, isn't it? Now today has been a kind of day of trial and error, just trying to work things out and seeing how things went and how things didn't go. I've been ashore, taken Jess over to the pub, had a pint of Guinness, which was nice. Didn't film that because I forgot the camera, left it on the boat, what an idiot. But very pebbly beach over there, little pub, quite a nice little pub. The food in there smelled quite nice, but I've just had some dinner on the boat. We didn't have a barbecue on the beach because everybody that did come ashore decided they were going to go and eat in the restaurant in the pub. So I came back to the boat and had something to eat. I have been just monitoring the battery situation. The batteries are down to 80%. The wind generator managed to keep the batteries topped up with all the navigational stuff that that we had on coming here. But now the wind's died down, there's no wind. Now the wind's died down, there's no charge coming from the wind generator. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the generator. I've never done this before, so I'm going to get the generator out and plug it in, connect it into the shore power connection and see how much charge that gives the batteries. So I'm going to do that now. Another little experiment while we're here at anchor. Right, okay, so here's the generator. I have had to literally pull apart half the locker to get to it and get it out. So I'm going to have to make a few changes there because I want to be able to get to this quite quickly. So let's get it powered up. I've got it plugged in and let's see how much charge it puts into the batteries. But it is a bit noisy. I've got it linked to the app and it's putting in about 1500 kVA at the moment. I'm not sure what that is or how much that is, but I'm just going to leave it on for a few minutes and see what it does to the battery charge down below. Right, okay, so the generator's now been on for about half an hour and the battery charge indicator, I'm not sure you can see this, it's gone up from 80% to 81%. So I think I might need the generator on all night to get the batteries up to 100%. So I don't think I'll bother with that. I think I'll turn it off now. I'm fed up with the noise already. Right, okay, I don't get this. I've turned the generator off, and remember when it was running, I'm not sure if you saw it in the camera, but it was running at 81% charged. Now I've turned the generator off, and the charge has now gone up to 100%. That's after I turned the generator off. So what's going on there? This is the one thing that bugs me, and the one thing that I don't understand about boats, and that's electrics. I've never understood electrics in cars or anything that I've done in the past. So if you're an electrician and you can answer that question, why, when the generator was running and supposedly charging the batteries, did the charge say it was 81%, and now I've turned the generator off, we're at 100%? That's bizarre. Could it be my batteries are about to give up? That's a bit worrying. I know they're about 3 or 4 years old. Maybe they are due for a change. Maybe that's something I need to do before I start venturing further afield. But anyway, I've got 100% charge on my batteries now. That's good news. Right, well, good morning. It is the next day. We've spent the night on anchor, and as I take you outside and pan around, you can just see how everywhere has just been so calm. The sea it's like glass. It's just beautiful. There was a bit of swell when I went to bed last night, but it soon died off by about 11:30, midnight. And as you can see, it's just so nice out here. It's 7:30 in the morning now, and I've already been to the beach. Jess has been to the toilet, and I picked it up, of course. So now we're getting ready to head back to Conway, and as you can see, no wind, so I think we're going to be motoring pretty much all the way back. The anchor held all night. I had the anchor alarm on and didn't go off at all. I know it was working because I set it to a 10-metre radius and it was going off all the time, but then when I set it to 25 or 30 metres, and it stayed quiet all night. But as you can see, with these conditions, you're not going to move much. And if an ultra anchor can't hold you in these conditions, then there's something seriously wrong. Okay, so the plan is now I'm just going to do some engine checks, lift the dinghy back up onto the back of the boat, and get the anchor up, get the engine on, and we'll be heading back to Conway. Right, bring the bow up first. I think the problem with these davits is they don't go out long enough. Well, these were the only ones I could find that would fit on the back of my boat. Right, dinghy on the back, engine check's done, let's get her fired up. Glow plugs on. Let it glow for about 10 seconds or so. Plenty of fuel in there. And fire her up. There we go. On the button. And we're just putting her head over the side. Looking to see. There it comes. There it is. So the water cooling is working, that impeller is doing its job. Right, now the engine's on, just going to go and do the electronics, turn all them on, and then the anchor, and we'll be away. Right, that's the snubber. So that's got to come off. That's the snubber bit here. So just going to take that off and then pull the rest of the anchor up. So I'm just going to bring the anchor up 10 metres at a time. Wait for the next bit of colour. So there's the orange. So the orange means I've still got 30 metres of chain out. So you just bring it in bit by bit. The anchor is down behind the boat somewhere, so as we're bringing it in, the boat is adjusting itself in the water because there's no wind. We're pretty much at slack water now, so the boat's just going to drift where the anchor chain lets it go. So as you can see, As you can see now, that's almost going straight down, so let's bring a bit more up. There's the green, so that means we've still got 20 metres of chain out there. And as you can see now, look what's happened to the boat. See, the boat's gone backwards. That anchor chain is forward now. So I'm just going to let that settle for a few seconds till the chain's a little bit more vertical off the front of the boat. And all the time whilst I'm doing this, I'm just making sure we're not drifting into any other boat or rocks. We are going to be getting a little bit closer to the shore. We are at low water, so I do want to be doing this fairly quickly. Right. So the chain is pretty much vertical now, so I'm going to bring some more in. Alright, so there's the blue line there, so there's the blue markers, and that's the 10 metre mark. Here comes the anchor, absolutely caked in mud. Right, we're up. Okay, so we're underway, we're heading back to Conway. Malta slipping into the distance behind us, and there's not a breath of wind out here. We got, according to this, we got 4.8 knots of wind. We're heading right into it, and we're doing 4.7 knots. So all that wind is us. So we got 0.1 knot of wind really. Don't think we're going to be sailing back. It's going to be a motor all the way. So the autopilot is on. Let me just swing you around. This is us here, and this is where we're going there. So I think the autopilot's going to be on for most of the way home, and we'll just keep going on this heading, and it will eventually get us back to the start of the fairway, which is here. So we'll just cut in and then up the river and into the marina. I did what I did yesterday as well, by the way. I made myself a nice coffee there, so I'll have that in a little while. And I think we're about to run the birds over. Look at them all over this side and all over that side as well, hundreds of them. Now the sun's starting to come out. Little Jessie's decided to join us up in the cockpit. Haven't you? Hey? Got a bit wet this morning running around on the beach. Some birdies. Okay, so it's been a nice leisurely cruise back. I didn't really film that much because there wasn't really that much going on. I've just potted back. We're just doing over 1,000 RPM, and it's taken a long time, but I've just been enjoying it. No wind at all, so no sailing. It's just been, the whole thing out here has just been like glass. It's been actually quite nice, and with the engine just over past tick over, I'm doing 3.6 knots. I could have gone up to 6.5 knots, but I didn't see the point. We're just kind of heading now towards the start of the channel, into the river and into Conway Marina. So it's been a really good 24 hours or so. I really enjoyed anchoring. I was a bit nervous at first. I didn't sleep that well. I woke up a couple of times in the night just to double check. So I'm feeling pretty tired now. Looking forward to getting in and hosing the anchor down, hosing the tender down because that is just filthy dirty, and looking forward to sleeping in my own bed tonight as well. But thoroughly enjoyed it. So we're going to end this video here. Thank you very much for watching again. If you have enjoyed it, remember, hit that like button, and if you're not done so already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you are feeling really generous, we do have a Patreon account. if you'd like to contribute to future episodes, we'd really appreciate that as well. So thanks for watching from me and little Jess, who's fast asleep down here in the sunshine. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.